so I didn't want to like damage the lip, and so the chuck is a way around that. So you need a sort of stiff leather hard, and then I've sort of designed my chuck to fit the pieces. I don't think it's going to fit this one very well, but it's not too bad. I can make it
This is the
work.
one you made last week.
Yep. But we'll just pop that on there. And so I ribbed all the slip off. The clay was really stiff to begin with anyway. If you're making one of these, I would do this, is make it and then put it in front of the fan for a while. Half an hour or something like that. Let it stiffen up, because if it's too soft, it won't work. I have this electric heat gun for stripping paint. I hit it with that for a little while, and that stiffened it up enough. Don't go to Harbor Freight and buy a cheap paint stripper. They come with really crappy switches and they burn out. And so if there's any surge through your power line at all, it kills them. Ruined a bunch of those. The ones they have at Menards last much longer. So just get that baby up there, and then the way I do this is to just sort of make a triangle with my hands and then just hold until it seems relatively stable. Then we'll make just a little divot in the middle, a place to hang on to. That'll hold it in place. And then the idea is to hold that tool, like I said last week, I think too, or the week before maybe. Hold that tool nice and steady and let the unevenness get trimmed off first. Sort of holding the tool above the surface some and just waiting for the high points to get clicked off. And then just try to blend it in a little bit down there.
You still blend it in even though it's textures?
Yeah, because I don't want to have a ridge. I'd rather lose a little bit of my texture than have a ridge. You know, that's kind of okay. You know, having that change. But if you just kind of let that tool sort of softly fold over that edge, it's not so blatant.
Now, would you normally put this kind of foot on these cups? Or would you do them on?
I would hand carve them. Yeah.
Like that video you did.
But now that we've got that, I thought that it might be worth hand carving one a little bit. So we've got the end of this.
Yeah, because it looked like you were using
Wooden stick.
wooden knife.
Yeah, it's just a stick, or a piece of I think it's birch, maybe it's maple. I'm not sure. It's a hardwood. Yeah, that's not quite the right shape. This will be better actually, because the end that I use on that stick is a straight,
Square,
it's
yeah.
a square.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the inside, but
Yeah.
not for the outside.
Right. And so the way I'm doing that is to just kind of.
It almost looked like you had a piece in the
Oh, I went through. Damn it. That's not supposed to happen.
I'm just thinking, that's what I would do.
It makes me so much happier when he does things like that.
next.
Now, how do you hand carve again?
Is this what you use?
Yeah, something a lot like that. See that? Yeah. Yep. And so yeah, the way I was doing those was to just do this. with such an organic piece, it doesn't make sense to me anymore to trim a nice round machined foot. So this is a little bit more in keeping with the aesthetic of the cup.
You know, I worked really hard to make mine not look like that.
You're not bored with it yet. And then the way I've been doing it is my knuckle then becomes the spacer, right? Like that.
Yeah.
That is the diameter, right? So if I increase that, then it gets smaller.
So it's really not just free for all.
Not really, no. I mean, there's some. There is an effort to make it somewhat uniform, right? Because that's still pretty round, right?
Yeah.
So then from there, I'm not sure this will work quite right, so I'm going to go back to this. From there, then I'll start to remove that bump.
Is that one a little bit stiffer than
This is where,
the
yeah,
cup?
like,
No, the cup is the plate.
This is way stiffer than this one.
And the one you did.
this is maybe a little softer.
Okay.
Yep. Let me see that. Actually, I have one of those. So the other end of my trimming tool, one end looks like that, the other end looks like this. I just take that. And the video that Sarah saw on Facebook is and you saw it too. That video is I'm trimming on a piece of foam, just right on a banding wheel. So I mean I don't take the time to make a chuck for those. And then I like to just kind of start going at it a little bit. And then I let that tip dig underneath some, so it kind of makes that foot stand out. This. Not the best one I've done, definitely. And then just a little bit of water to smooth it.
After you went through all that energy to keep it not smooth, very smooth.
Well, it's still uneven, right? It's still irregular. But I don't want it to scratch the table, you know what I mean? There's that.
Yeah, so then do you sort of set a slimer on the counter so it's
Yeah,
flat?
yeah. There's the last thing I do then is to take it and set it down, and I give it 5 turns. It's got to be 5.
Clockwise or
2
counterclockwise?
clockwise, 3, 4, 5. Because I'm going forward in time
Okay.
instead of going backward in
Yes.
time.
Well, what if you already
Not at all.
did 2 turns?
It's hard to go backwards.
Still 5 turns?
What's that?
You already did 2 turns. Is it still 5 turns no matter what?
Just depends on when I start counting. Crack it down there. Push it a little too hard. It's hard, you know, you get used to a tool that works well for you, and then it's moved away from it. Ugly. So for this one, let's change the chuck a little bit.
on that side there?
That was Teresa's whippy wire.
Your wiggle
Show
wire?
Your wiggle wire, yeah.
Okay.
The mud tools,
Yeah.
wiggle wire. But I did it while it was, I had it up in a real tight cone, and then I opened it up
Is
and
this
stretched it out.
one of those things that were,
I'm sorry?
like a, a ballpoint pen? or
Yeah, you
wire,
can
that
pull
you
the-
just
You can,
kinda-
out.
that one, someone bought for.
Oh, this
That's-
one, it looks like,
If you
when
make
I'm looking at it, that's what I think of, is one of those.
Yeah, you can take a regular spring and stretch it out.
sometimes those are fun because they're irregular. The
Yeah.
swirl is irregular.
You want to see it?
I have one.
Another way to do it is just take a regular wire. I'm not going to do it this
You
way,
could
but
just cut
you can take your needle tool
It
and
makes, it makes.
just take your wire and
That
start
you kinda
wrapping it
like
real tight around the needle. Be real careful. You can stretch that out. Another way to do it is to take two wires and twist them together, and then tape the handles so it stays twisted together. And it's not quite as aggressive as that, but leaves a nice mark. A little more subtle.
Aggressive program.
So this will dry the surface so it's not sticky at all, and make it just a little more stiff. It happens pretty fast. These heat guns get really hot.
And of course you tried the size first before you did that.
That'll be fine. Perfect. Okay, so it's not perfect.
So with the other one, the chuck didn't go all the way up to the bottom. Right?
No, it's just sort of hugging the lip.
Okay. Maybe that's part of my problem, is I try to make it fit the inside. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I have a lot more problems with just that, but I just never got through the chuck.
You have to be, you sort of have to allow it to be a little bit off too. It's never going to get perfect.
Hello, James.
Oh, you're.
The hardest part is, like getting it level, I think.
What is that? Can I wash off your word list?
Good enough.
Plant pen.
So that little divot in the middle is really the way to go, because you can really hold it in place with that.
I could try.
That is talking me or whatever.
Did you look in your big ceramic pot on the shelves?
I tried it.
Did you look inside your spelling notebook? Did you ask your father to help you? So when he gets home, he's probably going to be able to help you find the red line, because I can't see the house front. Okay? I know I'm the one that finds stuff, but I can't find it on the phone on that bus. Look around that area where the pottery was. Oh my God, are you taking?
like a tiny little foot on a tea bowl. Nice.
Then you have to make sure whatever you have in it is real even.
Tea.
That stays.
Yeah. Yeah, this I love drinking tea out of these little nice. You don't really need the handle. You've got the foot stays pretty cool, and the lip is always pretty cool. And so I just like that.
Or you use it as a hand warmer while you're drinking.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's something really nice about having a relationship with your hot tea instead of being divorced from it, right? You know, this, I'm not going to get near you. You're hot. Wow, let's experience hot. Why not? Burns a little bit, but it's okay.
Now, once they're glazed and fired and the rest of it, they're dishwasher safe.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I run my pots in the dishwasher all the time.
Someone asked recently.
Some glazes can sort of become eroded over time from the harsh dishwashing detergent. But I haven't come across any yet that have done that. I would think that, yeah. I would think that, well, I sell a lot of pots. I mean, I hate for that to happen. Usually I would say that, as a general rule, glossy glazes do really, really well in the dishwasher.
Microwave as well.
Oh yeah. Just never from the refrigerator to the microwave. It's too much.
Stop while you're ahead.
So, yeah, both for tea. I mean, traditionally, like, well, this would be more for a ceremonial type tea situation where these shapes are a little bit more everyday use. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, in the tea ceremony culture of Japan, it would be a closed, a shape that's a little more closed, right? Fat at the bottom and then sort of closing up. That would be the winter tea bowl. And once that opened up, would be the summer tea bowl. So they cool faster. That's what I got for you.
Very good.